Most crisis breakdowns don't start outside of the organization. They start in the room. Not with a technical failure, not with a bad actor, with three functions that are each doing their job and operating on completely different assumptions about what the response looks like. By the time that misalignment becomes visible, it is no longer an internal problem. I'm Anne-Marie Hurk. I work with leadership teams on decision authority during cyber incident when public pressure moves faster than verification. Security, legal, and communications each bring a distinct lens to a crisis. That is by design. The organization needs all three perspectives to navigate an incident responsibly. The problem is that each function also operates on a different clock. Security is moving at the speed of the incident. Every minute matters. Containment decisions cannot wait for full organizational alignment. Legal is moving at the speed of liability. Every statement, every action, every communication is being evaluated against regulatory exposure and litigation risks. Caution is not hesitation, it is a professional obligation. Communications is moving at the speed of perception. The external narrative is forming whether the organization is ready or not. Silence is not neutral, it's a position. Three clocks, three sets of priorities, one incident. When those clocks are not synchronized before pressure arrives, the response fragments. And fragmentation does not stay internal. Misalignment seeps. It does not announce itself. It shows up in a statement that legal has not cleared, in a holding position that security has already moved past, in a communication that contradicts what the CISO said on a call 20 minutes earlier. Each of those moments is small in isolation. Collectively, they create a picture for regulators, board members, and the press that the organization did not have a singular internal reality when the incident began. That is the reputational and regulatory exposure that most organizations do not plan for. Not the incident itself, the visible evidence that the response was improvised. The organizations that contain misalignment are not the ones where everyone agrees. They're the ones where alignment was designed before the incident, where escalation thresholds were defined across functions, where each team understood not just its own role, but the sequencing of decisions across the whole response. Alignment under pressure cannot be built during the incident. It has to exist before the first decision is made. Here's what this looks like when it surfaces publicly. An incident is confirmed. Security begins containment. Legal advises holding all external communication until the scope is understood. Communication is fielding inbound press inquiries and needs a position. Legal waits, communication stays silent, is already a story. Security says the scope is still shifting and nothing should be committed to yet. Each position is defensible. Each one reflects sound professional judgment within that function's domain. But there's no one in the room with the authority to sequence these positions into a coherent response. No predefined escalation threshold that triggers a cross-functional decision. no established protocol for what happens when legal, security, and communications arrive at an impasse. So the response stalls. And while it stalls, a journalist publishes what they have. Regulator notes the delay. A board member hears something from outside the organization before hearing it internally. The misalignment that began in the room is now visible outside of it, not because anyone made a bad decision, because the governance structure did not account for the moment when those three clocks would need to run together. If alignment happens after the statement goes out, it's already too late.